Welcome to Triangle BNI. Today's show is brought to you by Simply Done Concierge. All right, folks, we're halfway through September. We got holidays coming up. Can't be in two or three places at one time, so you need the professional team at Simply Done Concierge to do that for you. If you'll go to the website, simplydoneconcierge.com, tell them what help you need so you can be in two or three places at once, the team will be there for you. Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Manning. Each week on Triangle BNI, we bring you a local small business success story. If you are not familiar with BNI, it is Business Networking International, the world's largest networking organization. Our little slice of heaven here in the Triangle is Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill, and the surrounding towns. And each week we bring you a local small business success story because within each BNI chapter, our goal each week is to help each other grow businesses. And our local small business success story this week is Mark Ingalls with Seagroves Insurance. Mark is in the Pay It Forward chapter. They meet Friday mornings at 8 a.m. at Sophie's Grill and Bar on NC 55. Mark is currently the events coordinator in the chapter. He holds the commercial realtor seat, commercial insurance seat. Sorry about that, Mark. Good morning, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing great, Mike, and I appreciate the opportunity to be here this morning.
You bet. So you don't want to be a realtor. I don't have to bring that up anymore, right?
Not yet, at least.
Okay.
Not yet.
Because it's so easy. Put a sign in the yard, house sells, right? I mean, right. So,
Right.
and insurance is the same thing, right? Yeah, I need this, book me up. All right. So the commercial insurance seat in your chapter. So you focus on businesses. Business owners are out there. What's kind of the thing we don't think we need, but we should really look into it to make sure our business. Let me back up. From insurance people, I know you've used this before. There's a lot of people that have insurance, but not everybody's got coverage. So, from a business standpoint, what are some things we don't think we truly need or have focused on it, but we really do have to make sure we're covered in that area?
Yeah, great way to put that. A lot of people just view their insurance as a whole, whether it be home and auto at your with your personal level or at your business level, is a bill you just pay every month, and you just send off a check, and it goes to whomever, and it gives you kind of a piece of paper to play ball. But uh, what I like to do with my prospects, my clients, my friends that I work with, is the education piece. Is understanding that a plumber needs to be treated very differently than a restaurant, and you have to have a truly unique business insurance program that will help you in the time or the event of a claim. It's super important to be educated on how to leverage your insurance program in your favor as a business owner, and that's something I take pride in.
Yeah, and on the personal side, it's a car and a driver. It's pretty easy, right? Simple. That's who's involved in it. But on the business side, you've got the owner. You may or may not have employees. You may have product. You may have a building, and there's a lot more moving parts in your world.
Yeah, that is very, very true. And that's one thing that I try to do for my clients is take something off of their plate. As a lot of us in the professional seats want to do, whether it be financial planning or business insurance, is you want to be that trusted advisor. At the end of the day, we don't want to be just a bill or a premium that comes out of your checkbook. So we want to give our value back in the way we we want to understand all the moving parts and the vulnerabilities of each and every different business.
And if you're a trades business, you've got, I've got my people at your house today putting in new flooring, and it just rained yesterday, and we're bringing in all kinds of product. I've got four people there. You may or may not be home. And I don't think a lot of us think that all of that better be covered because the ramifications can be pricey.
Yeah, you're again, you nailed it on the head right there. Is if you don't know who's working in your house and you don't have um, in your possession their proof of insurance, then if there's a mistake on the job site, they can just pack their stuff up and hit the road and never answer your phone calls again. Are you going to pursue a lawyer and go down that road? Probably not. So having that insurance information up front. So today, here's a kind of buyer beware kind of thing is if you have a plumber, if you have a roofer, if you have a tree trimmer, ask them for a certificate of insurance. And if they balk at that, then you can probably go to the next one on the Google search and go to the next one and find a trusted insured contractor and having those things covered if they do damage your house. You don't want to be on the hook for it. You shouldn't be. So you need to draw that line in the sand there.
BNI has taught me many things over the years, which is one of the reasons I love the organization and just the relationships you build, but I'm smarter as well. If I am an HVAC company and I come to your house, now let me go different. Let me go roofer. So now I'm on your roof and I fall off your roof and I don't have insurance. Does that fall under your homeowner's insurance?
You can be sued by that roofing company, just like if I trespass on your property and break my leg, I can point the finger at you, and there'll be an injury lawyer that will take it. It's just, do you have the right people to fight for you? So having a solid homeowners policy that will cover this type of incident, and as well as having proof of insurance from the contractors that are on your property, that should alleviate that exposure.
And but going back to your point is for folks to ask because when we when somebody goes, "Oh, you need to check out this restaurant." Some people just Google it and say, "Ooh, what are the reviews before I go see a movie, go to a restaurant, whatever." But do we feel like that we're being rude if we asked a commercial business owner, "Hey, do you have insurance and let me see it?"
It really is not. This is we do it all day long. It is not personal. I've even initiated the conversations for some of my clients. It is really very very common, and it should be more common that a lot of people do not ask for it, especially in their home. They want the tile laid, they want their hardwoods done, they want the job done. There's a tree laying in their driveway, they want it pulled out of there. But having a simple email exchange or a simple text message between the business owner that you're hiring can solve that very quickly.
I first got into BNI years ago. My brother and I had a commercial cleaning company, and I was amazed at the number of small businesses that never asked if we had insurance. A couple asked, and I said, "Yes, we do." And only one in, what were we doing that, 5 years maybe, said, "Can I see a copy of your certificate of insurance?" And we're
Mhm.
walking into their world. I mean, you as a small business owner, that is your life. And nobody asked, why is that?
It is. It kind of baffles me now that I have some solid experience in this industry. It's really the most simple check off the list that you can take off. To have peace of mind is really it's so simple to do, and it is really amazing that it doesn't happen more often.
Yeah, I was surprised, but again, I learned if you want, and it's not, you should want a company doing business with you that's buttoned up, they're professional, and they want to come in and show you that, hey, you don't need to call anybody else. We got insurance, we vet our people, all the things you can do. I kind of look for those people.
That's right.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It's a head scratcher. I don't have much hair left to scratch, but it's still a head scratcher. So all right, so by the way, that's what I used to look like many years ago that Mark looks like right now. Dark hair, a solid beard, and now it's all gray and it's not quite much solid hair left. But yeah, so I like the look, Mark. I like the beards. Is there any gray in there yet?
Oh yeah. Now that I'm in the sales world and entering a hard market in the insurance industry, it's coming. It's coming.
It's amazing what brings that in there. All right, so I always like to ask my insurance friends this question. How does somebody want to and how does somebody get in the insurance world?
So I went to school at Coastal Carolina and did a golf program down there. It's a professional golf management program, and only a number of schools in the nation have it. So I got a job out of college at Chapel Hill Country Club and stuck with that here for about 4.5 years. COVID threw a wrench into it, but again, surrounding myself with the right type of people at a country club. Again, you can kind of assume the crowd there, that business owners, C-level kind of sweet people, and people that are leaders in their industry. So I knew I was in a safe spot there career wise, and it was always kind of part of my plan to use the golf industry to get in the right circle of people. I never thought I would be truly in the industry, in the insurance industry, but um, my father owns a small business in South Carolina, concrete cutting and removal business. So I understand the conversations I didn't at the time when I was 8, 9, 10 years old about what it means to refinance the house to make payroll or buy a new piece of equipment for a certain job that could make or break a company. So kind of tapping back into those conversations and using those memories as motivation to take care of business owners at the end of the day, whether it be a restaurant owner, you're selling sandwiches or bagels, or you're roofing, or your plumbing. So in a roundabout way, I'm now in a very rewarding position where I get to truly protect someone's livelihood and all the families that are tied to a business. So there's extra layers that you kind of dig into on what a business is and how to protect it.
And now that you do what you do in the insurance world, do you get at parties and casual gatherings, do you get those, "Oh, by the way" questions? Oh,
Oh yeah,
Mark, while
yeah.
you're here, one quick question. You know it's not quick, right?
No, no, I'm already buckled up and ready to go once I hear that one. But yeah, I welcome those.
Yeah.
I got those in the golf industry when someone wanted me to look at their golf swing. It, if you're not passionate about it and if you're not excited to do that, then you need to go a different route.
I'm with you. It can be annoying if you're with family and friends or in a deep conversation. I get that, but that means they have a question about something which just plays right into your wheelhouse. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
That's right.
All right, so always love one of the reasons why I love doing this show is I learn stuff. And you mentioned your dad. So does your dad still have his business?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yes, he started in 2002.
All right. How old were you when you went to work for him?
I was legally 15,
Okay.
but I
And
was I was around the shop
yeah.
all the time.
So what was your first official job there?
I was on a wall cutting job at a school, cinder block walls, and it was about 9,000 degrees in South Carolina. And I remember this was actually my first kind of moment of understanding I might not want to be a
Mhm.
concrete cutter.
Yep.
It was throwing cinder blocks over and over and over again all day. My hands actually started to cramp. My thumbs just came in, and I'm like 16, 17 years old. I should be able to kind of hang, but man, that was a very memorable moment. But yes,
And your
a little
point is your point is correct because a lot of people go searching for what they want to do, and I tell them, no, let's start ruling out what you don't want to do.
bingo, bingo.
But let me guess, there was no exit strategy for you because it was your dad's company and he needed help, right?
That's right. Yep, got to do what you got to do. Pops needed some help, so was definitely willing to do that. My brother was off at college, so yeah, it's time to step up.
Did you get paid equally like the other guys?
I did. It was nice. That was a nice first paycheck compared to my pizza throwing
Yeah.
days and washing golf carts and stuff like that. Yeah, it was nice.
Do you remember the first check you got? Did you look to see how many taxes were taken out and go, wait, what's up with this?
Yep, yep. Taxes weren't fun to learn about at 17 or 18. Yeah, that's there was a lot to learn that year.
That is one of those outdoor jobs in the summer, whether it's roofing or pavement or whatever it is, those are brutal days, aren't they? You can't eat or drink enough to stay reasonably comfortable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I used to kind of laugh at the guys that would go in and eat these huge lunches, fried chicken, mashed potatoes, green beans, like the meat and three kind of places. I'm like, how are you gonna even stand up after this? But you're gonna go right back out and burn it off in an hour. So yeah, you were just drenched in sweat and just trying to keep up.
Oh, that's too funny. So how long did you work for your dad?
I did about 3 years or so, and then kind of bounced in for certain things. But yeah, once I went to college, it was a done deal. Then I had internships in the summertime for the golf program. So yeah, and I think I was 19 when it was the last time I came back for a job.
Did that make you a decent handyman around the house at all?
Yeah, yeah, I'm definitely I'm not afraid to take on a project, put it that way. Still a lot of Googling, a lot of YouTube videos just to kind of triple check things before you righty tighty, lefty
Yeah.
loosey. You kind of got to remember all those things. But yeah, I'm definitely familiar with little odd jobs around the house.
I bet your dad's got a couple people that have been with him for a long time though, doesn't
Yeah,
he? Yeah.
yeah. He's got 4 or 5 that are still, I think, day one guys,
Wow.
which is really incredible to think about. And they're foremen, so they're out in the field. It's not like management kind of bookkeeper positions where it's easier physically to be at a desk. These guys have been out in the field since their early 20s with them. Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
And that's actually a good testament to your dad. I mean, some people stay in jobs that they don't like, but generally, like you alluded to, those are air conditioned office jobs usually. But to do what those guys do every day, stick with your dad, that says something about the way he runs the company, I think.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, benefits and 401k, those things are not a common thing in the construction world. But he's done it from day one, ever since he could. So having those things tied to a very physically demanding job, I think is important and it shows.
You know, that's a good point, Mark. We are talking about that. I was at a Cary BNI meeting earlier. We are talking about the value of a business. And sometimes people think, oh, I'm buying your product or service, or I'm coming to work for you because you're paying, and in the trades world, $1.50 more an hour, which, over the course of a year will add up. But when you throw in 401ks and maybe some life insurance or things like that, that's what matters. And that's probably why people call your dad's business and businesses like that because they see it's like, oh, wait, I'm getting some value by going to work there.
Yeah, absolutely. And those are the things that I always ask of my clients now, and they're usually not expecting that question from me. As an insurance guy, you're like, well, you just need to know how many vehicles I have and all those typical kind of insurance questions. But I like to kind of dive deeper and understand. Okay, why are you a business? Why are people coming to you? Like you said, and I think just having a better understanding of why the doors are open and the lights are on at a business gives me just a better chance to protect them better and do my job to a higher degree.
Yeah, and there's different ways to attract and retain employees. Sometimes it's just the hourly rate or the salary, and then other times it's working conditions. Hey, a gas card for have to drive far, whatever. But those little things like that matter, and then you get people, and for small business owners, there's not much worse day than turnover. Yeah, we gotta replace Mark, he's leaving, and now it takes 3 weeks, a month, 2 months, oh gosh, so I applaud
Yeah,
companies that do that.
you are correct. It's very expensive to
Yep,
hire new people.
yep. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that time element doesn't have a dollar amount to it, and
No,
it adds up.
it's painful too, and it's just, oh, because 'cause you're out there doing the work, right? I didn't start this business to go cut concrete. I wanted to hire
That's right.
people to do that so I could grow the business, so Alright, so let's get into golf, and here on out, any question I ask of you, I'm going to tell you that probably back in 1977, I played so I was 16, so I played in the Old North State tournament at Wildwood, and I finished 3rd from the bottom of 114 golfers. So I'm just stating that up front. Not my questions, I'm not judging anything, Mark, but I found some stuff, okay? So you go to Coastal Carolina for this professional golf management, and I know you played high school golf, right?
I did.
Alright. So was that the plan all along was to get into golf?
Yeah, so in high school, and I picked it up kind of late, relatively compared to some of the juniors I played with growing up. I didn't really get into it till I was 14, but hit the ground running, progressed quickly, and yes, had a decent high school career, and a handful of small offers from smaller schools in South Carolina, Virginia, Georgia, and I was very tempted to go pursue that on a smaller level on the NCAA side of competition. But long talk with my dad, and we kind of come to the realization it's like, hey, are we going to actually have a chance to go pro at the end of this? And if we think that there's a possibility of that not happening, what's our plan B? So long talk with dad, and kind of leaning on him. He has zero golf experience as well. So it's just kind of leaning on him as life experience. But he explained to me, it's like, hey, why don't we try to pursue a professional career,
Yep.
whether it be teaching, management on that side. So we found these schools that offer professional golf management through the PGA of America. So they're accredited, they're partnered with a very nice organization tied to the golf world. And we made a decision to pursue Coastal Carolina, which also get a business degree in marketing.
Mhm.
So I always have that to fall back on, and I definitely tap into that every single day in this career and as a golf pro. So that was my decision, because there's still competition with the PGM programs. I played a lot more competitive golf than my friends that went to the smaller schools that I was tempted to go to. So yeah, it was a decision that I will always kind of give credit to my dad. It was one last conversation to kind of make that decision late in the committing game, so to speak. So committed. It was like early July when I made the final decision to go to Coastal Carolina, and do not regret it one bit.
Good. I commend you for being able to get a college scholarship at any level in any sport. There's a lot of us growing up never could do that, so I tip my hat to you on just even getting offers. So, if you had not gone to Coastal, though, where would you have gone?
Oh, that is tough. Being from Greenville, South Carolina, Clemson's always a big pull there. Um, they did not have a football program that they do now.
Yep.
But yeah, it's probably somewhere local up there. USC Upstate was an option. Um, NC State was also an option. They also were a PGM program, and a couple other smaller schools that were always kind of had a seat at the table. But yeah, once we really dove into Coastal Carolina, it was no brainer. Myrtle
Yep.
Beach College, not bad.
If you were going to go play golf in college, do you know where you would have gone?
Mm, probably USC Upstate.
Okay.
Uh, probably, yeah, they'll probably be USC Upstate right there in Spartanburg.
Alright. Alright, so I think I found some golf statistics of yours, okay? I believe I found in the 2009 Greenville County Amateur, you went 72, 70, 82. What happened?
Man, that was a very memorable day. That was my first final group
Oh.
ever.
Oh.
So Yep, young buck playing against some very experienced golfers. It's a super competitive county for amateur golf, and yeah, that's one of those things where you got to be there to learn, and you got to lose. One of those, uh, I could tell you, my back was a little tight, this and that, but that's nerves. First tee, I knew it was going to be a long day.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, it was those first 2 days were cruising. But as soon as the lights were on and the cameras were out, and for that,
Yep.
relatively speaking, on that level. But yeah, big learning experience there.
But in its moment in time, that was a big tournament, wasn't it? In that
Absolutely.
location, in that area, I mean, the 2 now did you play as a threesome or a foursome in that last round?
It was a
Okay.
threesome. Yeah.
Had you played with those other 2 guys before at any place?
No, no.
Did you know who they were?
Definitely knew who they were. Yep.
Alright.
They couple really seasoned vets there, and all my friends were kind of my age that were always all ahead of me on the pairing sheet. They were already in the house, so they were in carts just watching me the whole back nine. So it started to get tight there at the back nine.
Oh. But like you said, a learning experience, right? And you were better for
Right.
it? Yep.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But again, I go back to how many people have been in the final group of their amateur tournament, their local amateur tournament, and it's a small room of people, isn't it?
That's right. That's right. I'll always be grateful for
Yep.
that week. It was a lot of fun.
Well done. So how many holes in one do you have?
I have two.
Ooh.
Uh, got them about 3 months apart from each other here in Chapel Hill, and I think it was 2019, both on the same hole.
All right, so let's talk about the first one. 2 questions. Did you know it was gonna be close, and did you see it go in the hole?
Yep. So it was a competition here at the club, a unique competition at Chapel Hill where the pros are involved with the better players at the club. So it's a kind of a Ryder Cup format, two big teams against each other, and all the best golfers at the club. And yeah, it was on the final day in singles, and we needed to make a push on our side, and yep, an 8 iron from I don't know, it's 160 some odd yards, and yeah, kind of trickled in, and we saw it just drop in the front edge, and the rest was history.
Nice, but is it one of those, it looked good, not necessarily in the hole, but it looked good the whole way?
Yes, it was. It did not move from the flag.
Oh, how sweet is that? Oh, oh,
Yes, yes, it does make it that much sweeter, and it was in competition too.
yeah, yeah. Did you guys end up winning?
We did, we did. There was a lot of cold beverages that were being taken part of on my
Yep,
expense.
yep.
So that tradition held strong.
You're happy to do it too, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Nice. So out of curiosity, I've never had a hole in one. I've rolled a couple of them up to about an inch and a half. What was the on the next hole? Once everything had died down, you realize, okay, got this, we did this. How did the next hole go?
It was, yeah, I mean, the toughest part was kind of collecting
Yep.
yourself because the next hole is somewhat of a demanding tighter shot. You don't have to hit it far, but you got to kind of hit it in a good little window. But settling down to do that was the toughest part because there was people coming in
Yep.
from the clubhouse. They're trying to figure out who did it, who knocked it in. So there was a lot of movement and chatter going on. So, but followed up with a birdie and
Good.
kept moving on, and yeah, head down and kept moving forward.
And where is that golf ball?
That golf ball is in my office. And I kind of wrote on it and uh, wrote the date and the time, or the date and the club and the yardage and all that. Yeah, one of my playing competitors was smart enough to get the phone out and video everything. Me walking up, I wasn't even aware. I was just on cloud nine. So
Nice. Nice, nice. Yeah, I've come actually closer to a double eagle than I have a hole in one. I just out of the blue, hit a 3-wood one day that, I didn't realize it was that close till I got up on the green. But, yeah, and it's funny in golf, and for those listening and watching, if you play golf or have those golf friends, I'm sure a lot of us have this. When we lived in Daytona Beach, early 2000s, had a standing golf game every Saturday morning. And there's a guy who was a 19 handicap. Now, I was a Muni 8, okay? Solid player, nothing great, didn't have spectacular shots, but I could get up and down. And that dude was a 19 handicap, and he had 2 holes in one. It just drove me nuts.
Yep. It's usually those guys that
Yeah,
have a lot of
yeah.
it's, they're that guy that hits it in the woods and it somehow pops out every time. You're like, all right, just strap in.
Yep, yep, yep. Alright, so you have a fiancé, and I always like to ask people, that no, you're not married yet, but it sounds like it's going somewhere, right? We got a name to it. How did you 2 meet, and do you both tell the story the same way?
Yeah, I think we do. It was the cliche of golf pro, and she was on the beverage cart, and she
Ooh,
worked on the food and bev side on the at the country club, and yeah, I was an early target, so to speak, when I got hired at Chapel Hill, and I just kept seeing her ride by my window and whatnot. It was funny. The one memorable moment that just cracked me up about her. She was, driving on the left side of a golf cart, but she was sitting on the right side
yeah.
on the passenger seat, and I was like, "What's going on here?" So next time she stopped by, I was like, "Why are you riding on the right side?" And she's kind of fair skinned. She'll get sunburned in a car going 20 minutes down the road. Um, so she was, or she got burnt on her left side, so she needed to go on the right side to get the sunlight on the other leg so, to even out the sunburn there. I just thought it cracked me up, and I was like, "What is she doing driving on the wrong side of the cart there?" But yeah, we met there, and I mean, I was chasing and trying to figure out, investigate, and asking
Yep.
other people that work there what's her story and all that. So yeah, that was a
Yeah.
fun time for
And
sure.
her explanation of the cart is one of those things when somebody explains something to us, we're like, "Oh, I get it now."
Yeah, made total sense. I was like, yep,
Yep.
you're sunburned on the one side and you slide over. So yeah,
Where
that
was
makes sense.
where was the first official date?
First official date was a little speakeasy bar in Carborough, Chapel Hill. It's called the Beltry, still there. Cool little cocktail spot, and yeah, and then we started going on some serious dates at Mothers and Sons in downtown Durham. Still our favorite restaurant. I proposed there, so yeah, it's a special place
Nice.
for us.
And so at what point in time did you think, "Ooh, this may be going somewhere?"
With probably the first year or so, then that's she was kind of in between places, and she was still staying with her mom in Chapel Hill. She grew up here in Chapel Hill. Um, so she was still there, and I had an apartment, so I was kind of an outlet to get her out of the house, and so staying over came more frequently, starting to bring laundry over, things like that. That's when I knew I was getting comfortable and
Hey,
really enjoying our company together.
well, good. Good, good, good. You are part of a charity golf tournament coming up.
I
Tell
am.
us about that.
Yes, it's the inaugural Triangle BNI golf charity event, October 9th at Chapel Hill Country Club, 11 o'clock in the morning. So we can knock out a couple things in the morning and come enjoy a full day of, uh, of benefiting the charity Love Abounds. It's actually run by David Morgan, who is also in our chapter. They help a a village in Zambia, Africa. They help them fund projects for abandoned children, drill boreholes for well water. Um, and to put it in perspective, $5,000 over there will build a home for 20 people.
Wow.
So goes a very long way. It's an important um, charity to David and his wife. They go over several times a year, and there's a lot of moving parts and a lot of things that they have to go through. Things that we're not used to over here is going through village leaders to get things approved. Even though there's dollars coming in, they have to be distributed correctly, and they have to have their blessing. So, um, yeah, supporting that charity is it's very impactful, how far a dollar here goes over there. So it was a perfect little marriage there to tap into the BNI, givers gain kind of mentality, and then get everybody together, which we don't really do a triangle wide event. So hopefully this will stem into great events in the year to come. And yeah, just trying to get it off the ground at this point.
Where can people go to get more information?
So it is loveabounds.org, I believe. And I can confirm that. I want to say I'm getting that right. Loveabounds.org.
Okay.
Or they can email me and I can get the link over to them. And then it'll have sponsorship opportunities and all of that there. So probably the more efficient way is to email me and I can get it right to them.
Okay, cool. All right, so let's go back to your golfing, career. So I found a stat, there's a guy named Joe Alden you're familiar with?
That's correct.
All right, that you 2, uh, were 6 under through 3 rounds, and you were playing Pinehurst number 8,
Yep.
and you doubled the 16th and bogeyed the 18th. What happened?
Oof. Uh, I believe that was alternate shot day.
Okay.
Uh,
Yep,
so if one person is out of rhythm, it can go south pretty quickly.
yep.
And from what I remember, it was not me out of rhythm.
There you go. I like it. Now to
um,
put his golf career in perspective, in 2019, you were selected as a top 50 golf coach, by I forget I did not write down the name of the organization.
yeah, it's Operation 36
That's it, yep,
is it's a global company now, and they're still rapidly growing. It's amazing what they do. So they kind of revamped the whole way to introduce people to the game. We were the one of the first 4 or 5 programs to kind of take on their structure and their curriculum. And I went through their school, got certified with them, and we grew a really impressive program at Chapel Hill. We got up to 120 plus kids, 85 ladies, and we figured out just your typical week long summer camp in the dead of the summer and being dropped off for 8 hours does not create golfers. It just doesn't. It's babysitting.
yeah.
You get about 20 minutes of golf knowledge, and then you tap out. You go to the pool. You're just counting the hours. So um, we developed a product that can compete with soccer, football, baseball, and that's structure. The parents need structure. They need scheduled times. They need drop off dates. They need things to be built up to matches, things like that. And it really did create a true community there around golf.
Very cool.
And yeah,
And
I was fortunate enough to be successful with that.
and then in 2018 at the Easy Go CPGA Pro Championship, you tied for 1st.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Things got synced up on the right frequency there, and butts were rolling in. Those things they all come down to putting.
Yep,
You know, it's just getting that ball to fall in from 10 feet out and kind of not making those big mistakes.
yep. So congrats on that. So you would sum up your playing career as what?
Mm, great question. You know, to sum it up would be I'm definitely fulfilled with my competition side. I played in some really cool events in college. Our national championship for the PGM schools. There's 18 schools throughout the nation. Was very fortunate. I believe I'm the only coastal Chanticleer to qualify all 4 years I was at school there.
Nice.
It's the top 5 golfers in the program. We had about 300 people in our program. So very proud of that. But yeah, it was a consistent career. Never too high, never too low.
There you go.
Yeah, I would be that guy on like just making the cut every week. I'd be happy with that.
Okay. All right. Is the game still in decent shape?
Game's in decent shape. I actually play probably more now that I'm out of the golf industry, which
Yep.
is crazy. But yeah, holding a one handicap, so it's all right.
I see your accountant approving a lot of rounds of golf with future clients, right?
Yeah, that definitely helps to have that, and have a lot of friends still in the industry.
Yep.
So if I need to show off who's in my phone and who's in my Rolodex, I can still tap into that.
Nice. I like that. All right. For Mark, we've enjoyed having you on the show, learn about insurance and some golf, telling some good golf stories. A final takeaway for small business owners who have an insurance policy. They should open it up and look for what?
So depending on each industry would be somewhat different, but number one is you've got to know your insurance agent. You have to have a personal relationship with them. That just gives you more peace of mind and more leverage when things happen. Uh, but entering 2024, you are going to see drastic increases across the board. So I would open up your insurance policies, gather them if they're in different places, they're with different companies, having a full assessment, and just understanding who to contact for each policy because it's a different one for workers' comp, it's a different one for auto, it's a different one for general liability. So juggling those things can be daunting to a business owner. And quite frankly, your insurance agent should do that for you. So if they're not doing that, if the information is not readily available or communicated to you, then let's talk. Let's have a review. But understanding the true exposures, whether it be a restaurant, roofer, plumber, HVAC, I can walk them through that, and hopefully open their eyes to something new, and educate them on how to leverage their insurance program in their favor.
All right. Well, we've been putting Mark's phone number up on the screen during the show. So if you have any questions at all, please give him a call. Folks, don't mess with this on the business side. Do not mess with this. There's a whole lot of trouble to get into. So don't do that. Call a seasoned professional like Mark. Mark, I've enjoyed the show today. Thanks for all the tips. Congratulations on the engagement. Good luck with the charity golf tournament because I know just speaking briefly with you about that, even on a couple emails that I can see it's near and dear to your heart. And I know they're lucky to have you involved in that because I know you'll help make it a better golf tournament. So, but thanks for joining the show today.
Thanks, Mike, and appreciate everybody's time. Thank you.
And we'll see everybody next time on Triangle BNI.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.